Hi, and thank you for joining me for this vinyasa class. We're going to be focusing on the hips today, and since we only have a little bit of time, let's get right to it. Coming into our tabletop. So in tabletop, toes untucked, let the shin bones go long and let all 10 fingers press down into the mat, keeping this joint stacking over one another. We'll start by moving into cow pose as we inhale. So inhale, drop the belly down, lift the chest, lift the gaze. Exhale, press down evenly through both hands to round through the upper back as you take the gaze back towards the thighs, maybe even into the navel. Inhale, drop the belly, expand through the front of the body, expand through the collarbone, lift the gaze. Exhale, contract the front of the body, open up the back, really pressing the mid-back towards the ceiling. One more round, inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Inhale into a neutral spine. And we're going to take the right foot out to the side. When we take it out to the side, you can let the sole of the foot place down onto the floor. And from here, we're going to move a little bit. The movement is going to be, we're going to slowly start to sit the hips back towards the heels. And as we do, take your right foot and point the toes up towards the ceiling. We'll take an inhale to shift the hips back forward. And then exhale, drop the hips forward, coming into an up dog shape as the toes point down towards the floor. Inhale, shift, take the hips back. Exhale, sit the hips towards the heel. One more shift, take it forward. Tap the toes down, take the hands forward, hips drop. Inhale. Exhale, lift. And then sit the hips back. Holding here for a moment, let the hips be heavy down onto the heel. If this is too much on your knee, you can always place a bolster or something underneath here to give more space. And good. From here, start to lift up. Preparing for a gate pose, we're going to take the toes back down onto the floor. Start to take your right hand down the outside of your thigh. Inhale, reach tall through the left arm. Exhale, reach over to the right. Inhale, come back up through center. Both arms reach up. Exhale, drop the left hand down, reach over through the right, getting a full side body stretch down the right side. Maybe even bumping the right hip up slightly, and then pointing the right fingertips over down towards the floor. Now using the core, inhale, lift the body back up, and then exhale, drop the hands down. Switching this out, take the right knee back under your hip, and send the left leg out to the side. So using those same movements, start to drop the hips back towards the heel, and as you do, take the toes up towards the ceiling. Now inhale, start to switch, bring the body forward. Walk the hands so that the shoulders come over the palms, and then drop the hips, lift the chest. And pressing up, inhale, shift it back through center. Exhale, sit the hips back. Inhale, switch. Exhale, drop the hips. Inhale, switch. Exhale, hips back. Let's make this transition one more time. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, drop the hips. Inhale, back. Exhale, hold the hips back here for a moment. Toes are flexed back up towards the ceiling. And making sure you're not rounding through the back here, kind of sticking the butt out behind you. Keep the back flat. If you have to walk the hands in some to make that happen, you can. And we're feeling this in the inner part of the thigh and into that hip. Now transitioning from here, bring the toes back down onto the floor as you bring the hips up, coming onto the knee and being flat on the right shin. We're going to let the left arm go long down onto the leg, and then inhale, reach the right arm high, maybe even reaching over to the left. Inhale, lift back up, both hands up. Exhale, drop your right hand down and then reach over with the left arm. Inhale, rise. Exhale, drop the hands down. Shifting, bringing your left knee back underneath. Tuck the toes, sit the hips back towards your heels, and then lengthen the legs. Pedal the knees. Inhale, take the right leg high. And then exhale, gaze forward, step the right foot up to the top of the mat. And once you're here, drop the back knee, untuck the toes, and then inhale, lift up for kneeling crescent. And then exhale, sink the hips down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands down. Tuck the back toes, inhale, runner's lunge. Exhale, sweep the right foot back, lower halfway for chaturanga or all the way down. Inhale into up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg goes high. Exhale, step and place the left foot through. Back knee comes down, untuck the toe. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, let the hips melt down. Inhale here. Exhale, drop the hands. Inhale, runner's lunge. Exhale, sweep the left foot back. Lower down halfway, chaturanga or all the way. Inhale into your back bend. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, come high point to the toes, and as you exhale, bend the knees, gaze forward, travel to the top of the mat. Once you're there, inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Take that halfway lift again, inhale. Exhale, fold and release. Let the belly come onto the thighs. Inhale, Katasana, find a chair pose. And then exhale, arriving. Bringing all the weight into the right foot. Start floating the left foot up. Come into a funky chair. And flexing the left toes back towards the shin. We're looking for that stretch in the outside of the hip right now. If your arms get tired, you can always bring them here to heart center. And focus on getting as low as you can here. Maybe even lowering the upper body, reaching forward. Now inhale and take the left foot off. Exhale, send it to the back of the mat. Inhale, lift up crescent lunge. Exhale, lower the back knee. We're back in our kneeling crescent lunge. You can untuck the toes, let the hips melt down towards that front heel. We're gonna drop the right hand down to the right side of the mat. Inhale, reach up through the left hand. Exhale, tent the right fingertips to the side and reach the left arm to the right. We're gonna feel an entire stretch down here, the front of our body, into our hip flexor, into the psoas. Now close the shoulders off and sweep the left arm forward to frame out the right foot. Coming into a lizard pose, heel toe the right foot out. And take both hands to the inner part of your right foot. You can stay here with the sole of the right foot staying down, or you can start to open the hip up by dropping the knee out to the side, coming to the cutting edge of your foot. Yogi's choice. And staying here for a breath in. And staying, hanging out for this breath out. Now, depending on what variation you chose, we're going to move into a quad stretch from here. So you can keep the sole of the foot down, or you can keep it out. I leave that up to you still. We're going to keep the left hand rooting down and start to look over your right shoulder. Bending into the knee, reach back with the right hand, catch the top of the foot, and then by relaxing the hamstring, pull the heel in close towards your seat. You're going to open the chest up, maybe even keep gazing over the shoulder and up to the ceiling. Now if you find that your hamstring is firing up and seizing, try kicking into the hand a bit to light up the quad. And then releasing, pull it a little closer. Now very mindfully, without slingshotting the back foot, release. And come back to facing forward. Heel toe the right foot back into center and take your hands to either side of your foot. Tuck the back toe, lift the knee, and as you do, step the back foot in slightly and draw the heel down towards the mat as you straighten the front knee. We're coming into a pyramid pose or variation. If you need blocks, you can always place them here under your hands. Rock the left hip forward to send the right hip back, and then fold over the right leg any amount that you can. Keep pressing into the ball of your right foot. Inhale, look up towards the front of your mat. As you exhale, walk your hands down the long left side of your mat and turn the toes in. Going into a wide leg forward fold. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Now the distance that your feet are apart are completely up to you. You can take the feet a little bit wider. Playing a little bit with the breath. As you take your next breath in, just rock the weight more into the balls of the feet. And as you exhale, rock the weight into the heels. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Back forward as you inhale. And back on the heels as you exhale. Inhale, take a look up halfway. Plant the left hand down onto your mat. Take a bend into your right knee. We're going to move into Navasana by lifting, pick up that left foot, and then swing it through, reach it towards the front of the mat. Sit down on the seat and then reach the fingertips forward. Navasana. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, drop the hands and drop the feet as wide as your mat. Sit the hips through the heels, come into Malasana, Yogi prayer squat. Elbows come to the insides of your thighs, and use the force and the strength in your arms to press the knees apart. Try to keep the spine long. You can always place a block underneath of your seat if you need a modification. Now from here, to get back into a high plank, we're going to drop the hands down onto the mat. Now you can either jump back to chaturanga, landing with bent knees, or stepping back to a high plank. Either way, trying to be landing as light as possible. So step or jump back, and then take your vinyasa. We'll move back to the top of the mat. Inhale, come high on the toes. As you bend into the knees, take an exhale and then step or jump, top of the mat. Inhale, find that halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. One more halfway lift and fold. Let's come into Katasana, chair pose. Inhale. Sink down maybe an inch lower as you exhale. And this time, floating the right foot up, take the ankle above the knee and come into your figure four chair or funky chair. Right toes flex back towards your shin. Option to take the hands to heart center. And again, maybe folding a little bit here, reaching forward to find a deeper stretch. Inhale, float the right foot up. Exhale, send it to the back of the mat. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, drop the knee. Now getting your front knee to stack over your ankle, untuck the back toes. We'll start taking the left fingertips down towards the mat. Take an inhale to reach the right hand high. And then as you exhale, reach over to the left, maybe dropping the fingertips down onto the mat as you reach the right arm over to the left. And closing off the shoulders. Take your hands down onto the mat and then heel toe the right foot out. Coming into a lizard pose and try to mirror what you did on the opposite side. Quad stretch. Keep the right hand down onto the mat. Start to open the chest up, look over the left shoulder. Bend into the knee. And we're going to catch for the top of the foot. Start pulling the heel in towards your seat, open the chest up. And remember on the other side, if your hamstrings start to cramp on you, kick into the hand a bit to activate the quad, and then I'll relax the hamstring. And then eventually releasing that tension, pull the heel closer. Inhale, exhale, gently release the back foot. Coming back to face forward, heel toe the left foot in towards the middle, and then frame it out. Fingertips and hands press down into the mat, tuck the back foot, lift the knee. Step it in slightly to get into a pyramid pose. Heels in line, right foot only turned out slightly. Plug the left hip back to bring the right hip forward, and then fold into the left leg any amount that you can. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, walk your hands to the right long side of the mat, coming into a wide leg forward fold. Heel toeing the feet out any amount that you'd like to get deeper into the stretch. Now for this variation, it's completely up to you. Maybe grabbing for the outer edges of the feet. Peace signing the big toe. Just try not to pull on any joints. Release whatever grip you have, and take the right hand down onto the mat right between both feet. Bending into the left knee, we're going to pop up and lift the right foot. From here, sweep and send the right foot through. Come to sitting down, Navasana. Maybe straightening the legs out. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, drop the feet down. Bring the hips between the heels. Malasana. So we're going to take one more vinyasa from here. So take the hands down to the mat, either stepping or jumping back. Inhale from that high plank, exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale into your back bend. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, lift the right leg high. And then as you exhale, draw the knee in towards your chest, and then drop it behind the right wrist, ankle goes to left wrist. Setting up for our pigeon pose. Now the one thing we want to make sure of is that the right knee isn't pointing or too far out from the hip. Think about it pointing towards the top right corner of your mat. The back leg, we want our ankle in line with our hip, so a nice long line here out of the back leg. That front heel wants to come in towards the hip crease, let it. Our anatomy kind of dictates that for us, as well as our own flexibility and range of motion. Once you've been in this pigeon, you can start to decide whether or not you're going to stay up here or maybe start to fold forward. Take about 5 more breaths. to a three-legged down dog. So tuck the toes, lift the knee back in towards your chest, and then back to that three-legged position. Take the right leg high, bend into the knee, and open that hip up, kind of creating some more space. If you want to take some big hip circles here to shake that out. And then land with the right foot back down onto the mat. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, knee to chest. Knee comes behind the left wrist, ankle behind right wrist. And then sit the hips down, making sure that the left knee isn't too far out from the hip. And that your right leg is pointing right back behind you, and your foot is also pointing straight back. Taking the hands down onto the mat, deciding if you're going to stay lifted or lowering down any amount. We'll be here for about 5 to 6 breaths. Now there's a lot of connective tissue within the hips. So when it comes to opening them, think nice, long, easy holds. Right? We're not forcing anything. We're not going too deep when our hips aren't ready. And take your time. The other thing that our hips represent is our emotional depot. So if you're holding on to a lot of negative emotions, your hips are probably going to be feeling tighter. And day to day, that can always change. So be kind, be gentle, and be easy. And take 2 more breaths. And hands come down into the mat in front of you. Another 3-legged down dog to shake it out. Tuck the toes. Knee comes back into chest and then back behind you. You can bend into the knee, open the hip, whatever you need to do to shake that out. Release any other tension that's existing. And then let the left foot come down onto the mat. Take a gaze forward and then start to step your feet to the outsides of your hands, coming back into that Malasana shape. Here only for a moment, and then reach the fingertips forward, bring the knees together to touch, and sit back. Take the hands at the back of the thighs and slowly round all the way back. Coming into a Supta Gomukhasana, or cow face pose, we're going to take the right knee over the left and pull the heels in towards the glutes to start. We'll take the right hand or left hand either at the ankle or outside of the foot, and then same with the right. Once we have a hold, think about kicking the feet away from the hips and then holding. Again, working the outer hip. And stay here for an inhale and an exhale. And then release the hands and continue wrapping the right leg around the left, any amount that you can, coming into an eagle wrap in the legs. We're going to lower the knees over to the left side, coming into a twist. If this is too deep for you, you can untwist the legs. As you come back into center, unwrap the legs, and we'll take the left knee across over the right, Gomukhasana on the opposite side. The right hand comes to the ankle, left hand to ankle, and then kick the feet away. Maybe just noticing how this side feels different than the other. So if you are left side dominant, this side's probably going to feel tighter. So on more dominant sides, we tend to use them more, which means the muscles are tighter. So that's why we have these imbalances. And while they're never going to be perfectly symmetrical, we try. Stay for an inhale. Stay for a long exhale. Release the hands. Wrap the left foot around the right, and then gently guide the knees over to the right. Send the left arm long, either keeping it long or a cactus shape. And work on plugging and keeping the right shoulder down. Release the twist by coming back into center. Release the legs. And ending in our final posture, happy baby. It wouldn't be a hip flow without a happy baby. So grabbing for the outer edges of the feet, drawing the knees in towards the inner part of the shin, and use that pressure in your elbows to draw the knees out so that your ankles can stack over the knees. You can stay here in stillness. And take some gentle rocks from side to side to massage the spine. If there's any other postures you'd like to take here in our hip focus flow, you absolutely can. But if you're ready, release the hands. Drop the soles of the feet onto the mat. Send one leg long at a time, and lay here with me in our final Shavasana, letting all the alchemy of that hip opening flow take place, allowing the body to relax and restore. Gently start moving the body, pointing the toes and then flexing them, expanding through the fingertips and then contracting. And then maybe, if you're ready, take the arms up overhead. Reaching tall, toes reach in the opposite direction. And then as you find an exhale, one at a time, pull your knees into your chest. And then slowly rock over onto one side. And letting the body adjust and wake up. Integrating to being off the mat. Take the hand down onto the mat and then press yourself up to a seated position. And try to keep the eyes closed. Coming to that easy seat. Hands come to heart center. We'll close off practice with one cleansing breath. As we take our inhale, we'll reach the arms up overhead and then side out, bringing them right back here to heart center. Find an inhale here, arms up. Audible exhale. Thumb to third eye. Thank you so very much for joining me for this practice today. It is my greatest honor. I see you, I love you, I respect you. Namaste. And I will see you for our next practice.